anonymous that others in the company won't be able to know. So, with that being said, we are live now, so go for it, Chris.
I like it. Well, I always want to start off with introducing myself. Again, everybody on here has heard me talk before, which is nice. But if you do send this out to the company, they get to meet who I am. My name is Chris Duran. I'm your resident personal trainer at Talking Rain. I've been very lucky. We started back there in November 2009 with percent body fat testing, and it's progressed into weekly trainings and education, all that wonderful stuff. I have a biochemistry biology major. I have a kinesiology, human anatomy physiology minor. Back when you can graduate with a whole bunch of little things. I've taken every single class on the human body. I am not a certified nutritionist. I am a certified trainer in ACSM and ASM and SCA Apex. I have all these wonderful things, but I also have 25 years of personal training experience. So my information that I give you guys comes from a lot of experience. I train the 90% of the world. I don't train the 10%. And what are those 10%? That is the extreme elite athletes. Yeah, I've had a couple people I've trained. Cool, awesome. And I don't train the extreme predispositions, right? Heart disease, again, people that require a little more medical attention. And it's not that I don't want to. I just train the volume. I train normal people that go to work and they pay their electric bills, and they have about an hour, maybe an hour a day to themselves, maybe. So I train real life, real time. So I want to get you the information that you need, not the person that you read on the magazine. So when I do this presentation, which I've done before, today's topic, fit versus fat, okay? I actually want to bring up some of the fun things you read in magazines, right? It's unfair what you read in magazines, and we all try to do it. We all try to replicate it. And why? But I also want to take fit versus fat and like the things we talk about in the world and translate it to, well, if you want to look like that and you want to feel like that and you want to accomplish those things, I just want to kind of go into the meal planning. Meal planning and meal preparation can be its own beast, but I want to touch on it because you guys have a chance to go to the grocery store, go shopping, get your Amazon delivery, whatever it is, and create your meal. And you can make it as basic as you want or as rich as you want. So, fit versus fat. Here I have started this conversation every single time. Have you ever seen a fat person run and finish a marathon? Yes. Now, I'm not talking about the elites. I'm not talking about people that run sub 3s and sub 4s or maybe even sub 5s. A fat person, and I'm using the word fat as a biology thing, can run and finish a marathon, which is 26.2 miles. I can't run a 5K. I don't want to, I have zero desire, and I'm a sprinter. My body is bred for sprinting. So, in some ways, a fat marathon runner, and I'm not talking morbidly obese, I'm talking about a person that has way more fat than me, can be way more fit and endurance, right? So, can a fat person run a marathon? Abso-freaking-lutely, right? Here's the mean part. Can a fat person sprint a 100-meter dash? No. And I'm talking a person that has a high volume of fat. If they were to go warm up and do all the things they need to do to maybe safely sprint a 100-meter dash, they're probably going to hurt themselves. And that's a bone density thing, and that's a weight on joint issue. Your ligaments can only take so much weight. But is a 100-meter a fitness thing? Well, no, 100-meter itself is not a fitness thing, but all the things that it takes to do to run a 100-meter dash is a very fit thing. So have you ever seen a fat 100-meter dash sprinter? No. Have you ever seen somebody that can sprint anything, swimming, running, by all those things? Fat? No, they're mostly pretty lean. However, I'm not also going to say fit, because fit is another topic, right? We'll talk about that soon. Go watch a Seahawks game. I'm a big fan of football, right? And I'm not going to call guys out, but how big are your O linemen? And how big are your D linemen? There is fat. But one of the highest levels of sports, right? You are so way up there. And they can pass any running test, any jumping test. And why am I talking about this? One more fun example. We always say the fat baby. Oh my God, look at that cute baby. Or, ooh, look at the baby, right? And parents know a fat baby sleeps better. Fact. A fat baby will sleep better. A fat baby grows into its body. And by nature, a fat baby always has a better immune system. Fat babies are normally healthy. So when I use the word fat, and I'm sorry it comes out so emphatically, but fat is a fact. Fat is on your body. Fat is pinchable. Fat is touchable. Fat has a metric to it. Fitness and fit is a look. When people say, oh, and if I had visuals, if I was better at technology, I would actually show you a presentation and show you cute things. I updated my profile pic a couple weeks ago, right? I got my suit on. Woo! Some of you guys that are my Facebook friends saw it, right? People are like, oh my gosh, you are so fit. Huh? I'm wearing a suit. What does that have to do with fit, right? Fit is the look. We open up People magazine and Cosmo magazine and GQ magazine and oh my gosh, look how fit they are. Are you kidding me? Fit is an unmeasurable. Fit is what people think something looks like. Fit is a mindset, right? So fit versus fat, it's a very popular topic because it's almost a mental, psychological thing. Ooh, gosh, I want to look like that. I want to be fit. Yeah, but you could be, here's an example, a 5'6" woman, 155 pounds, is considered overweight and obese by metrics, which we'll talk about soon. But he or she can go run a marathon, she can do a triathlon. Here, you could lift weights, you could do CrossFit, you could do my stuff, right? You could go hiking Mount Si, you could bike around the lake. You could be so fit, heart, lungs, soul, the mechanics of being fit, but yet you are labeled as overweight and obese by metrics, okay? So that's where I kind of transition into fit versus fat. Definition of fat, right? Basic medical definition of fat. Notable for having an unusual amount of fat, especially, right? Fleshy with superfluous flabby tissue. This is a medical definition, right? That is not muscle. So fat by definition is what's in your body that doesn't yield movement and isn't muscle, right? It's not your bone, it's not your joints, it's not your ligaments, it's not your muscle, right? Animal tissue consisting chiefly of cells distended with greasy, oily matter. I can talk about fat more if you want me to, but fat has this look, and fat has a number associated to it. Again, talk about baby fat, right? Fat helps you grow. You want it, we talked about it in our lectures before. Fat you need in your body. Fat is good for your cellular function, right? So to be fat is actually a good thing in some ways, right? Skinny people can tend to have a weaker immune system, right? It's weird. So again, fit versus fat, I do want this to progress, right? Again, there's a lot of labels to fat, right? Fat can also be, ooh, he's got a fat ride, right? There's other ways of talking about fat that's fun and enjoyable, okay? The basic definition of fitness, right, and fit, right? This is actually funny. This is medical terminology. This is not mine. This is from WebMD. To conform correctly to shape or size. If it doesn't fit anymore, to change to make it fit. This is a medical definition for fit. Are you serious? To be suitable for, to harmonize with, to put into condition of readiness. This is a medical definition. An acceptable form of a particular viewpoint. Adapted to the environment as capable to surviving. Oh, okay. So fitness and fit, we've made it more this mental, psychological looking thing, but really fitness is able to do, able to participate, able to adapt, able to survive, okay? So when we talk about being fit, and of course we have a small call, but I hope this thing reaches more people in the company. I want you to take your brain and go, okay, fat can be good for me. So yes, I need to consume fat. Having a little fat on my body, and maybe having a little bit more fat in your body, can be good for growth, can be good for cellular function, and it can be good for you and your efficiency, right? I look fit, right? I look strong. And I'm actually currently in a pretty healthy spot in my life. But people don't realize this, and I'm open to share. Last year at this time, I looked exactly the same, right, Lori? Right, Kyoko? Right, everybody that knows me? I looked exactly the same. I was in the worst shape of my entire life. I was in the hospital with an anxiety attack, right? I haven't shared that with many people, right? I was anaerobically challenged. I had a little high cholesterol because I was eating horribly and I was making bad decisions, and maybe I was drinking a little bit too much, and I was sleeping horribly. But if you saw me, I looked exactly the same. I put on a suit and I looked fit. So I want you to take mindset and say, can you use your fat for energy? Can you use your fat for growth and development? Can you use your fat for efficiency? Right? Turn off the mindset of being fat is bad. Okay? Being fit is a look. Let's make fitness as, ooh, I can survive. I can adapt. I can have more lung volume, VO2, right? I can decrease my resting heart rate, right? Let's make fit, find some measurables. Wow, I am eating better, I'm feeling better, I have better energy, I'm sleeping better at night, I'm making better choices. Let's label that as fit. So when I hear people say, ooh, I'm fit or fat, I would rather say, ooh, cool. Let's use those metrics and say, I'm sleeping better, eating better, feeling better. That's fit. Versus looking at your neighbor or your coworker and like, they sure could use a couple pounds. And I hear it all the time, and I'm not going to call anybody out because there's nobody on this thing. A lot of my friends are like, ooh, we're out sitting at a pool, we're in Palm Springs. Ooh, hey, do you have any Chris, do you have any business cards? We should give that person a business card. A, that's rude. Never done it my entire life. B, that person probably could out-endurance me any day. So let's not make it a visual thing. Let's not make it a judgment thing. Let's make it a fitness. I can survive, I can adapt, I can move better. All those things. Okay, so let's transition a little bit. Insurances still use BMI, body mass index, and I hear it all the time, even after all these years at Talking Rain, and actually there's other companies I do percent body fat with, I just don't want to name anybody, that they say, hey, we have our BMI today, and you guys have seen me on my emails, hey, we got BMI today. I don't do BMI. BMI is your weight and your height. Go log in right now. You can log off this call, go type in BMI calculator, and you're going to see two things. Enter your weight and enter your height, push submit, and it gives you a number. And insurances still to this day use that to gauge how fat you are. It's absurd. 2020, and they're still using BMI for that. So BMI, body mass index, is your height and your weight, and there's a calculation. It's boom times 703. It has nothing to do with your gender, and it has nothing to do with your age, and it has nothing to do with what you do. So stop saying BMI unless your insurance is asking you for the BMI number. All you have to do is go log in, put it in there. Percent body fat, which is what we have done. I'm going to pinch your body, and I'm going to get as much fat as possible in some ways. So fit versus fat. Okay, let's talk fat. Let's talk about why this number exists, right? BMI is body mass index. It's a number, and it spits it out, and it says, oh, you're obese. Huh? Oh, you're perfect. You're average, right? Oh my gosh. It's all based on mortality and morbidity rates. Are you going to have a higher chance of dying on them is really what it's about, right? Where'd my sheet go? Where'd they go? Brain? There's actually a number here I wanted to say. So it's based on, can you survive longer? If you're going to pay them a premium, and here's your number, and of course I get stats, millions and millions and millions of people, right? So if you have a BMI of 25.0 or less, right, it's your baseline. If you're under, and I'm like 19, right? I would say a lot of people that I know are in the mid-20s, right? If you're 25 or less on your BMI, because if you get off this call, you're going to go to it for me real quick just to see the number. That's the baseline. Arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, gallstones, hypertension, stroke. If you are BMI of 30 to 35, okay, 30 to 35 BMI number, which is the average American, you have a 19% chance higher of having arthritis, 17% higher chance of getting heart disease, 34% higher chance of getting diabetes, 33% higher chance of getting gallstones, 28% higher chance of hypertension, and 60% higher for stroke. And that's why the BMI exists, for a number to say, here's you, Bob is 32, he has a higher chance of these things, so he has to pay more insurance. Percent body fat, right? If you are and I don't go too much on the education here on percent body fat. Percent body fat has your gender, it has your age, and when you guys get pinched by me, I do 8 sites throughout your body. I could do as little as 3, I could do as many as 9. I do 8 sites throughout the body. Essential fat. Men need 2 to 4% essential fat, and women need 10 to 12% essential fat. Women are unfortunately meant to breed. I'm sorry, ladies. You're supposed to have a little bit more fat in your body. And remember, I want you to think fat is good. Fat is efficient. And this is why men have a higher risk of heart disease, technically, right? If you want to just go stats in the world, men die more with heart attacks and strokes than women do, if you want to talk stats. But let's just change it to the average American. Average American is 25% or higher on percent body fat. And that's acceptable. 25 to 31% for women and 18 to 25% for men is acceptable and normal in an American. If you are above those, if you're above 31% in women, you are considered obese. And if you're above 25% for men, you're considered obese. And that's percent body fat. Now, it's based on the tools that you use. I use calipers. It's based on electrophoresis, right? It's based on human error. There's all these factors. I am very, very aggressive when I pinch. So I'm going to brag a little bit after 25 years of pinching people. I pinch very aggressively, so you have a very real number. And I love the argument because I've actually gotten in arguments with lots of people. So I like it. It's kind of fun. So I pinch aggressive. So percent body fat, cool. I want you to think percentage of body fat, but unfortunately you need to have a tool to get it versus your BMI online, okay? I can pinch you if you are in the Redmond, Seattle area. If you're not, find somebody to do that. You can do electrophoresis machines. You can stand on the thing. And again, it's gender, age, and then it has the things, right? But there's always a plus or minus. And it can be plus or minus 8. But when I do it, I feel like it's about plus or minus 2 because I'm very, very aggressive, right? So percent of body fat is what I want you to think about when you're thinking, ooh, maybe overweight, ooh, maybe susceptible to injury and heart disease and all those things. Ooh, I can change my percent body fat. If you lose 10 pounds, your BMI changes just like this. I'm literally talking about 0.1. If you lose 10 pounds of weight, and you guys have seen this, you could literally lose 3% body fat. A percent of body fat is about 3 pounds of fat, give or take. If you lost 10 pounds, period, you could lose 6 pounds of muscle and 4 pounds of fat. That would be unfortunate. You could lose 7 pounds of fat and 3 pounds of muscle. If you don't lose any weight at all and you lost 10 pounds of fat, that would be the greatest percentage of body fat, right? So I'm going to think you can change percent body fat. I mean, you can kind of change BMI, but it's small. Do something about it, which is why I like to transition into the next topic, right? We talked about the look, fit versus fat. We talk about how fat is more statistical and fit is more visual. And we said, ooh, let's make fit more statistical and let's make fat fun and energetic and efficient, right? And we talk about, well, here's your measurements, BMI and percent of body fat and what you do with it. Now, we talked about it in the previous series, and I can't remember what we labeled it, but the macronutrients, right? You do need fat to be efficient. Your body needs fat, okay? I want to talk about meals, okay? We got a little time, right? Oh, good. We have a, so, we're good on that stuff, and if you have any questions, I know we can answer them at the end. I want to transition into meals, because, and why are these topics together? I have trained a lot of women in my life. Ladies, you guys know me. I have trained for 25 years, and I've sat and I've listened to conversations. I've also had a wife before, and I've had other people that I sit and if you ever invite me to your barbecue, I actually don't talk very much. I'm actually not very social. People are always very surprised by that because I don't have to tell you guys what to do. I like to observe and I like to listen. And what I hear is, Jane, she's the one that looks really good in the bikini, right? She looks so good over there in the bikini. All she eats is chicken and broccoli. Look at her snack over there. She brought a bag of carrots. Well, there's a reason why the person you're looking at the pool that looks really good is probably eating carrots for a snack, right? I'm not saying that's the best snack, but they made a choice. And there's a reason why the person you see on the magazine cover might have a chef and or didn't have to go shopping. And I'm not bashing on them. Kudos. If I had a couple $1 million, you're dang right I would hire somebody to shop for me because I can't stand shopping. You guys, I can't stand cooking. I'm not going to deny it. I eat out every single day. I haven't cooked a day in my life. But when I eat out, I order correctly and I do things we'll talk about in a second. But I want to talk about meal planning. I actually have cooked. I want to talk about meal planning, okay? If you are prepared to cook a meal, clearly it's going to be better, okay? Let's just assume everybody wants to be more fit, right? Maybe lose a little bit of weight, feel good. Let's just assume that's kind of the general idea, right? So I want to talk about ladies should be 300 to 500 calorie meals, but you're never going to hear me talk calories again. And men should be 500 to 800 calorie meals, right? But again, on my last whole macronutrient thing, I didn't want you talking calories, and I still don't want to talk calories. But we also need to have calories as a unit of energy. So I'm going to go grab my meals, and what do I want my plate to look like? And if you do cook, the more things you add, right, the tastier it gets, the harder it gets, the less inefficient it gets. So I want you to make things easy and simple. I even put on my notes here somewhere. I want, if you're willing to do this, right, you're on this phone call for a reason, I want you to spend the next 2 weeks being a little boring. I didn't say bland. Be a little boring. I want you to pick out a couple different meats. If you're going to have a meat, right, you could do tofu and we could talk about your proteins. Pick out your proteins. And I want you between ladies, 20 to 30 grams of protein in your meal. And men, 30 to 50 grams of protein in your meal. Okay? Ladies, that would be 80 to 120 calories coming from protein. And men, that'd be 120 to 200 calories coming from protein. Ladies, that'd be 4 to 6 ounces of a piece of meat. It's a little bit bigger than my palm, probably a little bit bigger than most of your palm, right? The size of my hand is probably 8 to 10 ounces of meat, right? So you can get your ounces of meat, and most meat products are going to get you above the 20 grams of protein in a serving, right? Men, 30 to 50 grams of protein. Ladies, 20 to 30 grams of protein. Pick your meat. And then I want you to pick your veggie or veggies. And notice it didn't say salad. We can talk about leafy greens, but I want broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, right? I want a veggie, sweet potatoes, okay? And I want you to either have 2 cups raw or 1 cup cooked, ladies, or 2 cups raw and 3 cups cooked, men. Sorry, 3 cups raw, 2 cups cooked, right? When you cook it, normally it gets a little smaller, right? So you can get a little bit more in there. And of course, it depends on what you're eating. Just those 2 things. I know it's not very nice. But yes, if you want to talk about the starches and the other things, if you want to have a half a cup of cooked ladies and a cup of cooked men of your whole grains, your brown rices, you could do legumes if you want to. So I need my protein. Ladies, 4 to 6 ounces. Men, 8 to 10 ounces or more of your protein. And then I want you to have a serving or 2 of your veggies. Men, 2 to 3 servings of veggies, or you divide in half and you can add some whole grains. You can have your legumes, you can have your starches, right? Your brown rices, okay? And I want you to keep it simple. Spice is your best friend. If it's gooey, I want it gone, okay? So those are the basics. Gooey, gone, tastes too good, has all the other things. If you're going to have a meat product, by nature, you're going to have your fat. So I don't even want to talk about fat. You don't even have to add your fat, right? It should happen naturally if you're going to have a meat product. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, you definitely want to get to the legumes side of things, right? Your tofu would be your vegetarian protein source. Your legumes, your kidney beans, your soybeans, all those things would be in there as well, okay? And I want you to put it together on your plate. And your plate's probably going to look a little boring. It's probably going to look a little smaller. Or you're going to meal prep and get it ready and stack it and put it in your refrigerator. But you have your meat, you have your veggies, and maybe that's all you have, and or you have half of those veggies and you have half of your grains, your whole grains, your legumes, your starches, okay? I hope we're okay, and I know we're going to answer questions, and I want it to be simple, okay? And you don't have to do a lot of math. If you hit your 20 to 30 grams of protein, ladies, and you hit on your protein, and you hit your 20 to 30 grams of carbs, all those things will happen in there. Men, 30 to 50 grams of protein and 30 to 50 grams of carbs, okay? And I want it to happen, and I want spice, add some zest, add flavor, but I don't want gooey. And I want you to tell me what happens in 2 weeks, okay? I want you to try that, and it's hard. You got on this phone call for a reason, okay? I want you to see, in 2 weeks, will I have more energy? Will I be sleeping later or better? Will I be, maybe I lose a little pound or two? And maybe it's not about weight loss. Maybe it's just about that bloating. Maybe you're, oh my gosh, I just kind of feel better. I mean, I haven't lost any weight, but maybe I just kind of feel better. I'm not saying it's easy. And if you're like me, okay, I'm going to order my food. I'm going to do grilled chicken versus any other fried chicken, right? I'm going to get my broccoli. I'm going to see if I can get as healthy as I can get. But I'm not the person that's going to change somebody's menu. I'm going to order, like tonight, I'm going to have Thai food. I'm going to get grilled broccoli, and I'm going to get their Mongolian beef. And I'm going to have brown rice. And I'm going to get it, and I'm going to put it, and I literally divide it in half. And I put it in 2 containers, and I have one for dinner, and I have one for lunch tomorrow. That's how I've always worked. My dinner is half of my lunch. And that's just me personally, because I eat out a lot. But I have my protein, I got my veggies, sometimes I have my starches or legumes, or my leafy greens, and of course we can talk about that in 1 second. Leafy greens don't really provide a lot of nutrition, they don't really provide a lot of calories, but yes, you can have your salad. You just need 2 to 4 cups of your leafy greens to get the quantity of your meal in there. So meal prep, let's make it basic. Pick a couple meats, pick a couple veggies, and if you have your whole grains, again your starches, your brown rices, legumes in there, again soybeans, kidney beans, all those other things in there. What else? Tofu. Stay away from all the other stuff. Okay? And I just want you to take a peek at it and see what it does to your body and how you feel, because that's what you see in the magazines. That's what that cutesy tootsy at the pool's eating, right? If you want to be fit, if you want to look fit and strong and healthy, you gotta eat better. Okay? You can pound all the weights you want to. What else? Got that there? Yep. And we talked about fat is fat, right? Fat is energy. Fat is essential. Fat is going to help you be efficient. Fat is going to help you grow. Fat is going to help you move. Fat is going to keep you warm at night. Fit is an idea. Fit is a thought. Fit is an assumption. But let's blend those two. Let's put a good moving body together and use what you have to pound it out. Alrighty, I talked a lot. Questions, comments, concerns?
Hey Chris, it's Brian.
Hey Brian, buddy.
I got a question about, we've been talking about, protein goals and fat goals and carbs and things of that nature. And I increase my protein intake based on your feedback. And then the challenge I have is being able to keep my fats low.
Yep.
And I know that there's probably a difference between good fats and bad fats. I wonder if you could maybe talk about that a little bit. Okay.
That was definitely part of the last conversation, right? The essential fatty acids, EFAs, your omega-3s, your omega-6s. Your poultry, right? Your fish are going to be your better natural fats. If you're talking about, I'm going to eat my fat or eat my protein, your fish is always going to be the most quality and quantity of protein, and you're going to have your better fats. You get down into the poultry, your chicken, right? That's good, right? That's going to give you protein, good fat. You get down into your red meats. Dude, I love a steak. I love a steak. However, you're going to have the least amount of protein. You're going to have protein, but you're going to have the most fat, right? You're going to have your omega-6s, which are good, but they can also cause inflammation, which is where it dominoes into like the Crohn's issue, and when your tummy rumbles at night and you wake up with the sweats, that's from omega-6s, inflammation. So you want to, I don't want you to not have animal. If you want to eat meat. But tofu would have minimal fat. But if you're going to do this, Brian, and you and I talked, you are getting up to the quantity of protein. And of course, you already saw physical change, which is really cool. So now I can convince you a little bit more. When you start seeing the physical change, it's going to help out. You might need to start drinking some of your protein when you get to that volume. So you guys, Brian has reached a level. I gave everybody a safe level when we first talked. Ladies, 70 to 90 grams of protein is very digestible. Your body will respond. All those wonderful things. Men should be, 130 would be great, 110 to 130 for men. But you start breaking that 130 and hit 150 mark. Your body only wants to absorb so much. And of course, with what Brian's saying, if you're going to eat all this protein, along with protein comes fat. Fat and protein always come together if you're going to eat it. So Brian, you might want to drink a little bit, and I know it's a bummer, but I drink my protein drink, the Costco Premier, the shakeable, packable, takeable one. I drink that with my lunch every single day. It's free 30 grams of protein with like 1 gram of fat. So now I go from 150 to 180, and I added protein and I don't add fat. So you guys, again, I don't want to talk supplements because that's not fair. For me, protein is not a supplement. Protein is what you need in your life. There are protein supplements, but I don't want you to look at it as being supplemental. You need to add it to your body, and if you're going to use a protein drink, you're not going to get fat. So Brian, that makes sense?
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Kind of a follow-up question on that is, I've changed my meal plans for like my actual meals to incorporate higher protein, lower fat type of things. The things that I struggle with a little bit then is if I get hungry in between meals, finding snacks that are healthy enough to go for.
And that's huge. So, and that's the hard part about today. So we have the macronutrients, right? We talk about all the good things, and now we're on this whole meal prep. But when we're talking meal prep, we're not talking about all the things you're going to eat at all. So here's my challenge to everybody, and I challenge everybody a lot. You got your 3 meals. I only eat 2. I don't eat breakfast. So that's a misnomer, and we can talk about another day. So you have your 3 meals. Let's pretend you're going to have 3 meals, and let's just say they're 300-ish calories, 500-ish calories. So ladies, you're going, oh my God, I'm going to have 900 to 1,500 calories, right? But you're going to burn that energy, and men are going to be 1,500 to 2,400 calories. What do you do between and or at the end? I want you to Google or Bing or go to Costco or go to QFC and look for 150 calorie protein-based snacks. And you can even write that down. 150 calorie protein-based snacks. I can even type it in here in a second. And of course you're going to see a million things. What do I want? I want something with 150 calories and it has more than 20 grams of protein. You don't have to eat the whole thing. You might want to have half of that bar. Cliff Bar, Luna Bar, Builder Bar, all those bars. A cheese stick and some apples, right? Again, 150 calorie protein-based snack means it's going to have more than 20 grams of protein. It's going to have less than 150 calories. And so, Brian, math says it can't have a lot of fat because 20 grams of protein is 80 calories. And if you have 150 total calories, the rest of it is carbs and or a little bit of fat. So 150 calories, protein-based snacks. And you're going to see a lot of things. When you do meal planning, you don't have to listen to me. You can go online. 300 calorie protein-based meals. And you're going to see a lot of articles from Women's Health magazine. You're going to see a lot of articles from Men's Fitness magazine. You're going to see a lot of articles from Muscle and Fitness. Right? When you start typing those type of keywords in, you're going to eliminate Jane and John Doe's meal plan. Sorry. If you get my Metabolic Blitz, it's 300 calorie meals, 20 grams of protein. I did all the math for you, and all you have to do is go implement it. You got to go buy it and cook it and make it and do all this stuff. But if you want to do this yourself, right? Men, 500 calorie protein-based meals. And you're going to get this really cool menu from all these really great resources. And then the snack thing, 150 calorie protein-based snacks. Apple and peanut butter, cheese stick and crackers. Those are good things. Those are real things. You're not going to walk around with a chicken breast, but in my world, if you go to my refrigerator at my work, I have about 10 chicken breasts that I grilled, and I put them in Ziploc baggies, and I put them in the refrigerator, and I have a little mustard. You might think it's boring. Sorry. I'm fit, remember? Sorry, I had to do it. But again, there's that look, and it just is unfair, right? What do you see on a magazine? Why did you look at Glamour magazine with Jennifer Aniston? Sorry. She's my favorite. Because they have a chef, and they have these things, and next thing you know, they're telling us what they're eating, and we're like, oh, I can do that. Yeah, but you got to go buy it and cook it and prep it and do all the things and do it again and do it again. And do you want to have the same lunch every single day? Right? If you have 5 different lunches, imagine what your refrigerator looks like. Right? Imagine all the things you have to buy. So that's the downside. Being a little boring. Mustard, salsa, spices, right? Those are your best friends. If it's gooey and tasty, then, we're going to be in trouble. How do you feel about the magazines that glamorize the super thin? I will be really, really, really honest with you. This is a personal statement. I personally am not attracted to skinny. I personally like voluptuous and curves, and so it's kind of a bummer that that's what the world sees. And again, I kind of just said it. I'm not bragging. I've done my modeling. I've done my Men's Warehouse, and I've done these things. And I did Under Armour in 1997 to 2003. So I've done a lot of things. Everything's paintbrushed, right? You can't tell me how many people on Instagram don't post it without doing a filter, right? So you see the beautiful model and the really ripped dude, all those things. There's 100%. I've seen it and done it. A little bit of touch up, a little bit of sculpting. And then we look at her and we're like, oh, I'm going to look like that. And then it talks about what she eats. And I just said that, like the domino effect of what's expected to be fit and skinny. It's not fair. And I personally like a woman, and a man that has a body and can lift and run and jump and drink wine and have a good time. And that's the 90% of the population that I train. I train real people. Anybody else before I dig myself a big hole?
I'm going back to like when we've done the cleanse diets.
Ooh, nice.
Really, in terms of protein, avocados became my best friend.
Yep. And now avocado, yeah, you do have a little bit of protein in there, but you have your really good essential fats. Avocado, oh my gosh, if you guys can buy some avocados and cut up half and have half with a lunch item and half with a dinner item, you're going to get some great essential fatty acids. But remember, it's also considered a fruit. It has a little bit of protein. It has good fats in there. But you add that to a chicken breast. You add that to a sandwich. You can put that on a salad. Yeah, you're not getting a ton of protein, but a very, very good source of your essential fatty acids. Good for your skin, good for your brain, good for your heart. Clean eating. Thank you, Lori. Brian, how many ounces of water do you recommend per day? Love it. Basic math is your body weight. I weigh 186 pounds. You should have 186 ounces of water. Holy jeez, that's 1.5 gallons. So my challenge to everybody is, if you did a gallon challenge, right? We've done this before, right? Lori, maybe remember this one. Kyoki, maybe you did this one. Normally once a year at the gym, I'll do a gallon challenge. If you drink 1 gallon of water a day, you are going to pee out. Don't do it. It's kind of gross. You're going to pee out more than 1 gallon. I promise you. If you drank 1 gallon and had 1 gallon for your pee, you're like, yeah, but I don't understand. What's happening? Your body becomes very efficient. And this is totally outside of the subject. Here is your cell. Okay? Now it's my hand. When we get dehydrated and we lack nutrients and our body is inefficient, our cell gets really condensed and it takes all the stuff inside and it protects it. And then you start drinking water and it goes, boop, and it's like a grape. And those first couple days, 3 to 5 days, your cells are like, ah! And it's just flushing things out. It's the weirdest thing. And so you have bloating and you're going to go pee every 20 minutes. And it's horrible if you guys are at work. And I'm sorry. But on that 4th or 5th day, the peeing starts going down. And all of a sudden you look down and you're like, huh, is that an ab? Or, oh my gosh. Your subcutaneous fat just goes away. Your body's like, peace. If you become consistently hydrated, and that's a massive word, you must drink water every day. And once you hit that 4th, 5th day, your body's like, oh, you're not just doing this for a day. So if you drink 1 gallon of water a day, that would be a great start, Brian. If you drink coffee, and I love you guys, I love Trey. Trey is one of my favorite energy drinks. I'm saying it online, okay? I also drink Rockstar too. If you drink an energy drink, whatever ounces it is, you have to add that to the equation. So here's your gallon of water, and then I had your 16-ounce tray. I now need to add 16 more ounces of water to that gallon of water I had because it's a dehydrant. Anything with caffeine and vitamin blast, if you're going to have Rockstar, Trey, Red Bull, it's just part of the equation, your body will just start getting dehydrated. So, and again, that's that cell. That cell is working, and your cell is working, and it's working. You got to be consistent. Let it flow, and the cell will get a little less protective. Plain water preferred, but I talked about hydration last week a little bit. every once in a while, take that gallon and pour it into a glass and maybe add a little honey, a little bit of lemon, a little sweetener, and maybe, yeah, if you want to add a Noon tablet or electrolytes or mix in, some of your stuff, a little bit, and that's for your taste buds, right? It's hard to drink a gallon of water. I'm not going to lie, it's hard. However, if you add lemon, you're adding a citrus product, which is bad for your teeth. So if all you drink is lemon water, I didn't say lemon water is bad, but if all you drink is lemon water, it's actually really bad for your teeth. If all you're doing is adding honey to it, all you're doing is adding sugar. Fact, there's honey, sugar, right? If you're going to add things to it, it's going to take away the efficiency. So as much regular water as you can. Clearly you're going to have coffee. Clearly you're going to have a Tray or a Rockstar. Clearly you're going to have a Gatorade throughout the day, right? So you're going to get the other things in there. These are great questions, by the way. Anybody on meals and protein sources, which are going to be talked about in other things?
Chris, do you have any recommendations on intermittent fasting? I'm currently on, a break from around 8 p.m. until 1 p.m.
Nice.
And I start going. But I do have my coffee in the morning. That's the only thing that I can't give up.
That's okay. I love it. So here's where you're going to get this massive difference in education. If you were to say, Chris, I'm trying this diet, I'm going to be like, awesome. I don't even want to know the name. But what I want you to do is challenge yourself on, can you repeat it? So intermittent fasting is great. Is it replicable for the long period of time? No, right? You're going to go, all of a sudden you're going to get to Christmas and holidays, and I hear this all the time, right? You probably have done it before, right? Oh, I'm just going to go off it for the holidays and I'll get back on it again. It's something that you can always revert back to create change in your body, right? And that's a good thing. Chaos is good. Humans don't like change, right? I don't want to change. We just dealt with it the last 10 weeks, but now we're all kind of getting out of that weird chaotic phase and we've adapted. So intermittent fasting. On the long haul, your body's going to adapt to it so you don't see change. So keto, Atkins, intermittent fasting, there's so many things. There's so many diets. They're all geared towards short-term change. Teach your body what to do. But what's great about intermittent fasting is that you shouldn't go, here's a basic rule of thumb, you shouldn't go to bed within 2 hours of eating. I'm not saying that's intermittent fasting, right? You gotta go till 1 p.m. the next day, right? But if you are gonna go to bed at 11, you really don't wanna eat after 8. Your body shuts down. The second you lay down and relax, your blood leaves your intestines, it kind of starts leaving your brain, and it just flows to your heart and flows to your kidneys, and it starts going around and it settles, right? Your blood can't move in your legs if you're not moving, right? It moves a little bit. But I'm talking about true movement. So don't eat within 2 hours of going to sleep, because then it just sits there and it rots, and it will store, right? Store sugar, store fat. So intermittent fasting is great. Can you do it for the long haul? Probably not. Can you live life? This is what we talked about in our other lecture. Let's say you're going to have a girls' weekend. Rock and roll. Have a great Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Boom. Monday, you're back on your diet or your intermittent fasting. It's supposed to be really good for your digestive system. It's supposed to be really good for your brain function. However, 2 to 3 weeks into it, your body's adapting to it. So I'd rather you have one cheat day in the middle there, or one really good meal in the middle there that will help you last longer. Good question, though.
Great tip.
That's a great question. What's that? Say it again.
I've been doing it for a while, and sometimes, I'm a runner, so sometimes I'll do a small workout in the morning, and then I'll do my run in the evening when it's cooled off. But, sometimes my body is just dragging, and I need that something to help me get through until that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock meal.
Yep. And
So I think that's where people differ in their approach with, as Kyoko said, the different diets and the fads, and not being able to, some people do exert a lot more energy and work out a lot harder than others, and can't necessarily do that diet that they're suggesting.
And you nailed it on the head. I mean, I don't have to tell you this. Here, you guys want to know who I am? I'm a person that eats one 4,000 calorie meal a day. I'm not joking. I have, since the day I started working out, I was 12 years old. I've worked out for a long time in my life. When I was 14, I built my first gym. No joke. You can ask my mom. I dug out our basement. Kid you not. 14. So it was 1988. I got in the paper, right? I bought myself a squat rack from the paper, right? I didn't have Google or Craigslist. For some reason, the day I started working out, if I have food in my stomach, it no worky. So I can literally get up, and I'm more efficient in the morning. I get up at 7, 8 a.m., work out, pound it, huge workouts. I played college football, right? I was in the S.A.F practice squad. I ran college track. I was a 100, 200 meter sprinter. My entire life, nobody's ever figured it out. Even my college coaches and nutritionists. If they try to feed me more, my inefficiency increased. I am not efficient with food in my body. So I learned when I was like 16, I would have these massive dinners. I mean, huge dinners. People were like, oh my mom was like, I can't afford you. Like massive dinners. And then I could just pound out the whole next day. The only thing I would have, Brian, because Brian's probably like, what? Is I would have my protein drink after my workout. So after my workout, I would have 50 to 60 grams of my protein drink after my workout. And that way I wouldn't deplete my body and my body wouldn't use my muscle as energy. That's the only thing I've ever done. But you can ask my ex-wife, my ex-girlfriend, you can ask anybody in my life that sees me, I only eat dinner. For the most part, like 6 out of the 7 days. So, but that's me. And Lorraine, maybe on your, sorry, one more thing, Brian. Lorraine, when we talk about your intermittent fasting and that sometimes you just bonk in the mornings and you need some energy, this is when it goes back to that 150 calorie protein-based snack. You might not eat it all. And again, if it's a bar, have a couple bites of it, wrap it up, and save it for another day. And that way you're maybe getting 30 to 50 calories, but you're getting 5 to 7 grams of protein. And that's that little bump that gets you through your run. And then you're jonesing, and then by 1 p.m. you're not starving, you're not bonking. And bonking is actually a new word. It actually is in the dictionary. You look at bonking, it's now in the dictionary, and it talks about that fade. You're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna, like, how do I have a meeting? I'm tired. So definitely do 150 calorie protein based snack. Brian, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt there. I had a couple follow-up questions based on some things you just said. One is, when I have my protein shakes, is there a particular time of day in relation, or in relation to the timing of when I work out, that it's most efficient to ingest that?
100%. And that's what we talked about last week. That is, you want to have that within, the best case scenario, if you had it within 30 minutes of a workout, your body is going to absorb so much. So a lot of people at my gym, they walk in with their shakers and their breakers and everything, and they put it in the refrigerator, because I don't buy it and sell it. They put it in the refrigerator, and then they do their workout and they drink it on their way home. If you have the chance to have your protein, you're talking about, I'm going to drink my protein drink. I'm going to eat my protein source. I want to replenish my body. Within 30 minutes after a workout is when you want to do it. However, everybody's different, right, Lorraine? You might be like, dude, if I touch food, I'm going to throw up, man. So if you can get protein in your body relatively short after your workout, your body will absorb that protein. If it's real food, chicken, fish, right, you're eating food, your body will always absorb more. If it's synthetic protein, your body will absorb less. But whatever you put in your body after your workout, your body will absorb the most. And I think I gave you guys a joke last week. If you smoke a cigarette, I don't smoke. If you smoke a cigarette after your workout, you'll have the biggest high of your life. If you eat a tablespoon of sugar after your workout, your body's just going to absorb it all, and you're going to be on freaking Sugar Buzz 101. Whatever you do after your workout, your body will absorb the most. That's the best time to do it.
Yeah, I have one more question as well, Chris, is you had said not to eat anything within 2 hours of when you go to bed.
See.
Is there a trick in the morning to kind of jumpstart your metabolism if you have if you eat something right away, or if you drink a glass of water right away, or is there something that you would recommend for
are you tired? I mean, so there's tired, right? Who's not tired in the morning? This is when everybody's different, right? You might get out of bed and you might be just like, whoo, man, my tummy's rumbling. But I need you to spend about a week or two, and you're at the phase, right? You're at the phase, you should have some good data behind it, right? So everybody's different. I get out of bed, kid you not, I can get out of bed, I could go lift for 2.5 hours and have zero in my body. Sips of water. Everybody's different. So if you drive to the gym or go to the gym, no, we're not driving to the gym right now, right? If you get out of bed, you're like, whew, I need something in my body before I work out. Start with half a piece of toast and peanut butter. Just start with that. Or an English muffin. Right? Just start with something little if you feel like you need something. But that subject, everybody is different on. If you read 90% of nutritionists will say you have to eat breakfast. Well, those nutritionists, I can guarantee you, haven't met a very diverse crew of people that don't. And again, I've worked with lots of nutritionists, and even the Seahawks nutritionist in 2000. He's like, Chris, you don't eat until 4 p.m. I'm like, nope. I can